Well, hello everybody, welcome to Robert's Train Set, and I'm hoping that the title intrigued you a little bit. As you can see, we've got one of these trains that keeps wanting to stop of its own accord, which is appropriate because it is called Bon Accord. So, what's it all about? I have some particular trains running today, or rather engines I would say, Bon Accord being one of them, the Class 47 in rail freight livery, and although I've got an N7 on the front of the outside track, behind it is the Ginty, and if you look down in the engine shed goods area, there is also the other Ginty, and the reason I've got these on is these are the first locomotives I had on the layout when I first started it, which, believe it or not, is now 4 years ago. So unbelievably, I've been going 4 years with this train set. Things have happened, as we know. Come up from below up into the loft, it's extended somewhat, and you know, it's running reasonably well. Now Bon Accord's always been a bit temperamental, as we know, but you know, it's running round. I'm happy with that. And the Class 47, really it's, I think, the first locomotive I ever put a sound decoder in. I haven't got the sound decoder going because I want you to be able to hear me. And I do have another little cube camera in my top pocket, so hopefully so I can drown out the sound of these trains going round. So I'm digressing a bit here. So yes, it's 4 years since I started the train set, and it's 3 years in December when I started YouTube. So what I thought I'd do is have a little reassessment of where I am. Now, if you're thinking I'm going to rip all this out and clear out the loft and put trains all the way round like everybody else does, I'm not, sorry. But what I am going to do is change the way I operate the trains, basically. So as you know, if you're a regular viewer, I use Railmaster and E-Link from Hornby, and it's now on the layout on this computer. Operating these three trains. But I was thinking the other day, I do think sometimes, I've seen the big layouts like Alan at Dragon Junction Mark II and Jim at Hover Motion, you know, which are pretty substantial layouts, and obviously Stuart at the St Mary's Church. I think it is, isn't it? St Mary's Church, yes, I believe so. So, what I would dearly love to do on this layout is to run more than my 3 trains that I've got at the moment. The reason I've got 3 on is they've got complete loops to go round, and I don't have to do anything about them, even when they stop like that. But I would dearly love to run more trains at the same time. Now, I have tried it. I've put short trains on and tried to run them, say 2 on a track, and it all ends in disaster, absolute chaos. So my mental processes went a bit, and I think when you hear what I'm actually going to do, you'll probably think that any marbles that are up in my head here have rolled away and gone away wherever. But I'm going to try it, and it's really a bit of an experiment to see if I can take my humble little train set and change it into something a bit more, not so much modern, because I think it's modern enough, change the outlook of it. So, what have I done? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop the trains, and I will give you a little bit on what I'm actually done. I've actually bought the stuff I need. All I need to do now is the massive amounts of work that it will involve. So I'll call off now, and I'll be back with you in 2 shapes of a tick. Okay, everybody? So here we're back with the other camera, and as you can see, all my trains have grown silent. All sitting in their platforms or wherever I've decided to stop them. And it's all very quiet, isn't it? Well, until I started talking, of course. So I'm going to show you, basically, what I'm going to do, which is the whole idea of this video. I'm going to just show you a parcel that arrived. All these things tend to start with a parcel, don't they? So I'll give you a quick picture of the parcel, and come back to me after that, and I'll show you some of the stuff I've got. So in my last video, which was that little running session with the music, some of the correspondence I got was about my drone, and I'm filming you on my drone now. And what I said to those people that made an interest on it was I would show you my drone in this video. So later on I'll show you how the drone works, and see what you think. I'd like you to have a think about if I had this drone running with me talking to you, how would it work? That's all I will say. So hang on and keep watching, and I'll show you the drone. Cheers everybody. So we'll now go back to the other camera. Okay, so you saw it's quite a small parcel, it wasn't very big. It was reasonably heavy though. So if I pan down to my other computer, or rather my computer, I've had things with this. The battery wasn't charging. I naturally assumed that the battery had given up its ghost, and this computer could well be 8 or 9 years old, because they came out in 2012. And I don't think I bought it when it was brand new, but it probably wasn't long after that. So yeah, maybe 7, 8 years old. So it's done sterling work, as you've seen. It's run my trains, it's done my live streams, done my editing. So I bought the new battery and plugged it in, expecting it to charge, and fine, nothing. It didn't charge it. And basically the battery showed about a 5% charge in them, which was enough to sort of hold it on sleep for a little while, but I was really worried obviously that it was going to expire. Now it needn't have done, because you can actually run these without a battery in the back of them. It will run as long as you turn the power on, but I didn't really want that. I would like to have some backup in there. So I found another little shop in Harwich, recommended by a lady in one of the shops I go to where he repairs telly, because I'd gone in there to ask him if he had any ideas, and he did have a few ideas, but something really I couldn't do, I think. So this lady suggested this shop. It's not really a shop, it's actually in an office, but they're all very knowledgeable people, and just to do the story, even the experts get flummoxed sometimes, don't they? So we went in, and the gist of it was that they said my charger had broken, and they determined that by the fact that if they plugged another charger in, which they then had to put a lot of adapters on it to get it to fit into the computer, it charged up. The new battery this is. The old battery, they said, has gone, so I've left that with them. So fine, so they said they can order me a new charger, and at the same time I'm going to have the hard disk in this, which would obviously be the disk spinning at a mad speed into a solid state, which they can do fairly easily apparently. So I'm going to have that done, because it will extend the life of the computer, hopefully. You never know. So okay, I went home, put it on,
and because they charged the battery a bit, it wasn't too bad, but I thought I'd just plug it in and sort of keep it going. Miraculously it started charging. So I don't know what's going on. So I phoned them up and said, still going to have the new charger, just in case as an insurance policy. In fact, I will probably lose the new one and keep the old one in just in case. Can't have too many bits, can we? So that's that sorted. So on Monday, and I'm filming this on Sunday, I will be taking this computer in to have the new disc. Now apparently they've told me that they will save everything on the old disc and put it back on the new one. So there we go. So I'm going on a bit here, haven't I? So we need to get on. So I'm just going to relocate the camera. So in that parcel was this, which are 200 metre each rolls of red and black cable. So hopefully that's intrigued you a little bit. And if I pan across, I need something to control the layout. And at the moment that is done by the E-Link from Hornby. And I'm going to replace it with this. So we've got the DigiKeys, is what I call it, the DR5000 controller, and I'm going to plug into that these two, and these are basically to tell the computer where my trains are. It appeals to me that it would be nice to have the operating computer knowing what's going on, and these are all done on Loconet, as you can see with the wording. I'm not going to do a lot of videos on setting all this lot up because there are loads and loads and loads of them, but I will mention some of it, but not here. So this is going to be another little series. I think it might be a bit spasmodic because I'm going to have to work through quite a lot of work. And I've got the charger here ready for connecting it to the power and to the computer with that USB. It wasn't straightforward with the controller because this was sent as a Continental and I had a Continental plug on it. So I phoned up and they said, oh, we'll send you an adapter. The adapter came and was wrong. Wouldn't fit at all. So in the end I actually got a new cable with an English plug on, and I've yet to actually connect this up because I've been too busy. So that basically is the hardware, and you might notice if I pan in I've got a lot of these, so I'll explain what they're for in a minute. So what am I going to control all this lot with on the computer? So I'll take you back to the computer. Ah, but you say that's exactly the same as you had before. Well, it might well be. But my control system is moving from this computer over to my brand new one, which is over here, which I've acquired as well. Now you don't need to have a new computer. I think my old one would have been quite up to operating it. But there were benefits in getting this new one, which I'll explain. But let me just take you out your misery and show you what I'm going to actually use to control this. And I'm sure you've seen this many times. Yes, I'm going to have iTrains, and this is a full version. It's not the sample or the, you know, to have a go at it. I've decided I'm going to go for it and I'm going to do it. So it's loaded on the computer, and if I just turn the camera off for a minute and do a few clicks on the mouse, I'll get up and show you what I've done on it so far. Not a lot. So this is what I've managed to do so far, and as you can see it sort of vaguely resembles my layout, and this is in the control bit where you can alter it and whatever and make it, and all the items on the right hand side are all the components that you make it up with, and you can make it as big as you like almost, but I've tried to do what I've done here. I'm not sure that what I've done will work, and I bought all this from DCC Train Automation down in Somerset. So I'm in touch with the owner, who seems very helpful, and hopefully he can guide me through setting all this up, because there's a hell of a lot to do, a hell of a lot on here alone, so that doesn't withstand all the other bits I've got to do on the layout. So I'll show you what it looks like in where it will be operated from. So basically this is what you will see when you're operating it, and as you can see it's very similar to what I'm going from. I've got the layout there, albeit in the other side, but you can alter this around and have it where you want. And in if I put my finger where my finger is there, that's where your trains will show. Now these are trains and not necessarily locomotives, so it works on trains. It's called iTrains, isn't it? But your locomotives you can get down here and you can control them here. You can see, if I pan in a bit, there's my control, and you just use that slider to increase the speed. So I hope you're going to enjoy watching me come to terms with this system. It's not going to be easy for me, I don't think. I'm going to have a lot of wobbles down the line, and I'm now going to pull away from the computer and we'll show you the actual layout. So you all know my layout. It's this size, about 10 foot long and about 4 foot wide, plus all the bits on the ends. So what do I have to do to get this layout to work with iTrains? And when I say I want it to work with iTrains, I want iTrains to control the trains completely if I want, because that will then allow me to run more trains at the same time. And the biggest job on this is, you saw the isolation fish plates. I basically have to break this layout up into sections, and then feed a wire from that section to the command centre through those other little bits to tell the computer that there's a train on it. And it does this by knowing that there's current being drawn through that rail, so it knows something's there. And obviously because of the train that's running, iTrains knows what it's got. So that's basically the gist of it. So what does it entail? Well, obviously you saw the 2 reels of cable. I basically have now got to go away from the feeder tracks that I use at the moment to get power to it. And also these little clips that is lurking under this layer, under this wagon, that feeds the point decoders. So I'm going to have to put a bus wire in, or 2 bus wires, a red and a black. And on parts of the track that will not be a section, or a block as it's called, I will need to do feeder rails down onto this buzz wire. The wires from, as I said, the actual sections that we want to monitor will go back to those little units, and there are 32 separate sensors on those 2 little units. So I hope you'll enjoy what I'm doing and follow me. And as I say, it's not going to be totally technical. I'm just going to be my usual stuff, you know, nice and simple hopefully, and just show you what it entails to do this. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'll give you a view of my ugly mug again, and I'll just clarify and finish off, and then I'll show you the drone. Right, so I hope you've followed what I'm hoping to do. I just about am, and I'm hoping that James at DCC Train Automation will guide me through, because I'm going to need it. I've already sent him a picture of what I've set out on iTrains to get any input from the things I've done wrong, because I'm sure I've done loads of things putting all the bits on the block and the detectors and all those other things. So there we go. So I'm going to take this in small, short stages. So the trains that you've just seen running while I was talking, and some of the shots I've inserted with my new webcam that I've acquired, which is now a full, it's not completely full HD, but it's, you know, 1020 or whatever it is, rather than the 720 that the old one was. Not all straightforward. I plugged my really long USB lead into it and it doesn't like it. I get all streaks across the picture. So I've got a shorter one now, so that will hamper where I can locate it, I think, but we'll see. But it's, hopefully it'll be better quality on the streams. So you'll see some of the footage I shot on that, which is basically low down as they come at you or go away from you. And I'm going to basically get this unit connected to the computer and set up what you need to set up, and then try and run it through the software that comes with this, or with something on my tablet, which I'm struggling to remember what it is, but when it comes to me I'll tell you. So just in small bits. So I'm going to do this. I'll then hopefully get to operate some of the trains on iTrains, but without all those sensors that I'm talking about, just manually. And then there'll be quite a long time when I'm going to have to start pulling track up, putting droppers on it, which means basically soldering wires to the edge of the rails, and putting in all those isolation fish plates. So it could be fun. And obviously go under the layout, which is a bit I'm not looking forward to, going up and joining them up to the bus wire. Now, I have here somewhere, I've hung it up somewhere safely. I'll get it. I bought some bits to maybe hold up the bus wires where I can't put them through the timbers under the layout. So I got those, all from the pound shop down the road. But I was given, or not given, I had to buy it, they're not cheap, but I bought a set of these for £20, and they will basically strip the wires on the bus wire so that I can then solder on, because otherwise it means going under there with a knife and maybe just slicing them back, and I don't think that's ideal. So I've got those. That's a worthwhile investment, I believe. So that's those. And that's about all there is to say, really. It's going to be quite a long job, as you can appreciate, but I'm hoping at the end, if I can run, say, 6 trains on this layout all at the same time, with iTrains stopping them hitting each other, I think it will be a success. Whether we'll get to that, I don't know, but we'll see. So nothing else really to do now except to show you the drone, isn't it? There's a camera on it, which you've seen before, and the drone comprises of a selfie stick that I then manipulate to the middle of the layout and just raise up and down. Now, I did ask you at the beginning to say, think of the problems with having a proper drone. Notwithstanding the fact that this is quite a small loft and there's not a lot of height, the noise of the electric motors and the propellers going round would just obliterate everything, wouldn't it? So although you could film the drone and then maybe film yourself in it, it wouldn't be any good talking to it as I did, because you couldn't, or I couldn't, separate the talking from the noise of the propellers. So that was my drone, right? I hope you're not too disappointed, people, but I felt it worked reasonably well, you know, and it's quite controllable. You know, you can sort of hold it there and tip it and spin it and whatever you want. Okay, everybody? So I think that's it. I don't know how long this is going to be. I'm going to wait until the hard disk in the old computer is upgraded before I start editing, and just hope that I've got everything still on there. But I thought it was worth doing this video before, in case Railmaster doesn't work. I'm not expecting any problems, because I do believe that the company that's doing it is you know, very competent. They sort of sorted out the battery, even if it fooled us all by then starting again. And all I can think is, yes, it just the big connectors that they put in just cleared out something that was wrong. I don't know, we'll see. But here we are. So all your comments would be thankful. Do you think I've gone mad? I'm wondering. I'm going from great, I want to get on and do this, to oh dear, what have I let myself in for? But I am fairly. I would say that I'm fairly quick in what I decide to do. I haven't done a load of research on what to use or whatever. I've just, through a mistake, funnily enough, spoken to DCC Train Automation when I was thinking I was talking to somebody else, and it basically transpired from that, because I was going to buy the new layout, the new system that's sort of about £610, and that wouldn't really control and do what I want to do. So it was going on from that, and DCC Trains Automation said, well, you might be better doing this. That's what I've done. So rambling on, I know, I'm sorry, but I just wanted to bring you in the picture. So as I say, there will be a series of these, just showing the various bits, but not into high technical and how you set it up and all this. All right? There's loads. Cheers, everybody.